Welcome to this week's yoga video. Let's start by finding a comfortable position. So finding a comfortable position that lifts the base of the spine up, allows a little bit of freedom into the legs. And then we're going to just close our eyes and bring our awareness into the body. So our yoga practice is about finding that mind and body connection. So let's close our eyes, bring our awareness to the seat of the posture. So we've got a nice, strong position where we're connecting down into our sit bones, relaxing the legs and bringing the spine into that perfect alignment. And that alignment is from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So look for our key factors. For example, we don't want to be sinking down, and you notice that if you feel that your stomach is collapsing down. We don't want the shoulders rounding down either. We want to try and find some length through the body. So if you're very tight in the shoulders, bringing these shoulders back can be quite difficult because we've spent a long time in this rounded position and the spine started to collapse down a little bit. So what we're going to do is try and soften the body first. And we do that by bringing some awareness into the breath. So remember, the mind governs the body and all the reactions in the body, but the breath can still the mind. So if you can bring control into the breath, you're going to start getting a bit of control back into the body. So if you think about when you're under a stress state, it's like a runaway train. Your body's that runaway train. The driver of the train and trying to steer its way through the course is the mind, and then the coalman putting the coal into the fire as fast as possible is your breath, trying to keep up with this runaway train. Your body's starting to go into stress and disease and tightness and pain. Now if the coalman stops putting the coal into the train, then you're going to start slowing things down, and that's what the breath does. It starts taking back its control. So as the coalman starts stopping this energy, this feeding the stress, by slowing the breath down, the mind starts stilling, and then of course the body will follow afterwards. So we need to start really feeling what the breath does in the body. Without that full understanding, our yoga postures become very flat. So yoga is not just about moving from one posture to another, it's about engaging the energy in the body, engaging the breath, and trying to bring this activity of the mind into a sense of stillness and focus. So we can't stop all these thoughts coming in that distract us and create stress in the body, but we can start building up an ability to deal with the stress. And so the first thing we do is come to our mat and try and still the body. So physically stilling the body is the essential and the first part of your yoga practice. So finding that strength in this stillness, finding the commitment to your health, to reducing your stress, getting some control back into your action and reaction. And we do that by first noticing where we are at any given moment, whatever time we sit on our mat. So at the moment for me, it's an evening. So I've had lots of activities in the day. Body might feel a little bit tired. So I'm just going to start to slow the body's reactions, slow everything down. I'm going to bring my awareness into bringing full breath into the body. If I came straight into a practice, a movement, an asana, I am without this awareness, it just becomes a movement of no depth, an empty movement that has no real effect in the body. But if I start setting my commitment to my body, to my health, to my psychological and physical health, start accepting that I am responsible for that in whatever activities I do, whether it's work, whether it's outside work, interactions, or whether it's my yoga practice. Bring awareness and notice where your body is at this moment. Notice the activities of the mind. Remember, the brain can only focus on one thing at a time, so if you allow it to wander off and focus on a stress, it'll do it with all its full focus and attention. But if you start giving it something else to focus on, the structure of the spine, the softness of the body with the breath, the inhale, the exhale, and then let's start scanning the body for any tightness. Notice the muscles around the eyes, between the eyebrow centre. If you're finding they're heavy and tight, it's a good indication that you're feeling heavy and weighed down with a particular thought, activity, conversation, demand on you. And let's bring our focus back into what we're doing at this moment. Healing, calming, stilling the body. And let's bring our hands into Namaste. As we do that, just notice the shoulders. Let's take that added layer of awareness. Do the shoulders tighten up the minute we start bringing movement into the body? Relax those shoulders down. As we take an inhale and take the arms up towards the ceiling and separate out with a nice exhale. Can we keep this full and focused? Keeping the arms at shoulder height. Let's build a little bit of strength through the shoulders to the arms. Growing up tall through the spine, allowing all the muscles of the back to start activating. Notice again the shoulders. Are the muscles starting to tighten up, drawing in together? Can you release and find length through the arms? On the next exhale, let's bring our hands back together, releasing. This time, let's take the arms up with another deep inhale, finding length and strength through the body. As we exhale, we're going to change the direction of our hands, have the palms faced out. Notice that movement through the arms. And now let's gently move from side to side, feeling the activity moving deeper down into the back. Moving from side to side, getting some movement into the side muscles. Notice the shoulders again, if they started to tighten up. Is this an habitual habit of creating this tightness rather than strength? And on the next exhale, bring your hands back down. Take a round of breath, soften the shoulders. Allow the body to start expanding with the breath. Let's take a nice deep inhale again, taking the arms up. This time we're going to pull them down so the elbows at shoulder height. Notice again this feeling into the shoulder blades. Have you tightened those muscles? Can we relax them? And then we're going to move again from side to side, creating this stretch to the side of the body, activating into the core, keeping those shoulders nice and soft. Breathing and releasing, breathing and releasing, and then relaxing down. Let's have some 3 nice deep shoulder movements. Notice whether these shoulders are going up, back and down, or whether you can create this lovely circular movement into the shoulders, rounding, drawing a big circle with the shoulders. And again, notice the shoulders, notice the muscles, that bed of muscles that is such a tension point. Gently circling. This is why we get so many shoulder injuries, neck problems, headaches, rounding of the shoulders. Let's go 3 backwards, up and round. Again, notice this movement as a circular movement, not an up and down. See again if you've tightened those muscles up around the shoulders. And relax. Now let's go into eagle arms. We've done this before and it's a good way of noticing the tension behind the shoulders underneath that bed of the bed of muscles underneath the shoulder blades. Bring the top arm across the bottom arm. And here we're going to hold. Maintain that position. Now bring the left arm up and allow the right arm to come round, bringing the hands together. Here we're into eagle arms. And we're going to do this through 3 stages. Bring the elbows down onto the chest, relaxing. Relaxing down, breathing. Making sure once again we've got that integrity through the spine, all the way up through the back. And then taking the shoulders up to, the elbows up to shoulder height. Keeping this nice length through the body. And then we're coming up as far as you can go without the arms coming apart. So here you'll notice you get a nice deep stretch across the shoulders. Keeping this length through the body, breathing and releasing. Have 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Nice deep inhale and then release the arms. Now remember we had the right arm on top on the first round. We're going to release the shoulders by gently bringing the hands behind the center of the line and then opening up into the chest. Now notice now here again we've got this tendency to tighten up the shoulders, but see how soft you can keep them as the chest comes through. And then releasing, it's just a small version of cat-cow as we gently draw the stomach back towards the spine. And again, exactly the same. Bringing the chest forward, drawing the shoulder blades together with softness. Try and keep that softness in the body. Again, don't compress the neck, just bring a length into the neck. And then release again. Draw the navel back towards the spine. Notice we're gently coming down the spine, concentrating first on the shoulders. Forward. And draw that navel back, coming back into the body. And now let's bring the left arm across the body. So first of all, the left arm's over the top of the right arm, keeping the shoulders, the arms at shoulder height. And here what we're going to do is hold for a round of breath. Finding length again, don't collapse to the spine, and then bring that right arm up, interlace, and dropping the elbows down towards the chest. Let's have a couple of rounds of breath here. Feeling a softness, try and relax the muscles as we gently release them. And again, breathe, breathe, soften the body. All the while you allow the breath to take control again. It's like putting more, that breath to shorten. It's like putting more coal onto that runaway train. We want to stop giving the body the stress reaction of breathing sharply into the chest. Now bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Taking a nice deep inhale, breathing and releasing. And then taking the arms as far as they'll go without separating. It's going to be different for everyone. Keep the shoulders as soft as they can. All those muscles relaxing. Relax the stomach. Don't hold any tension. And then release. This time we're now going to rock forward into our cat-cow position. Just get a little bit of movement now into the lower back. And notice we've worked a lot into the upper back. We now want to bring more movement into the middle and the lower back. So we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to create like a circular movement into our cat-cow. So coming up through the center, then rocking over to the right, coming down into cow, over to the left, and then completing a circle as you come back into cat. We're going to do 4 going anti-clockwise and then 4 going clockwise. So keep it nice and slow, rocking over to the side, rounding down into cow, over to the left, and then back up into your cat. That's 1. Working with the breath. 2. Keep it nice and slow. Releasing hips, releasing lower back. 3. And the last one, down and round, back to center, come back to tabletop. And holding the position as we lengthen, we're going to go on to the other side. Finding a nice strong position, and then round and up. Creating this lovely fluid movement, round and up. Let's have 2 more, down and round. And last one, down and round and up. Now come into your natural, traditional cat position as you draw up, and then rocking back into downward facing dog. So here in downward facing dog, just gently pace through, because we haven't done anything into our feet, into the back of the legs. So gently pacing through, walking in and out into the position, allowing the stomach to come down towards the thighs. So we're coming off the wrists and getting this nice opening into the shoulders. And then we're going to bring the knees down onto the mat and come back onto our heels, finding this nice opening through the body as we round the body up, and we're going to come into a version of camel, so a very low camel pose, bringing the tips of the fingers to the toes and gently opening up, and then release, scooping the body up towards the ceiling, creating a back bend, down onto the mat, bringing the hands back, scooping the body up, again working into those shoulders, up through the center, into a back bend, allowing the shoulders to come forward. Let's have 2 more, down, hands behind, opening up, releasing, scooping forward, up towards the ceiling, back down again, bringing the body into this position. And let's just find a little bit deeper into the position now. The shoulders are coming back, making sure we're not allowing the neck to drop back too far. We've just got this nice length through the body. Gently allowing the chest to come forward, the shoulders, try and keeping them soft, and then release, drawing the navel into the body. And then let's come down into a nice wide angle child's pose, and then we're going to come into a puppy dog pose, so make sure you've got enough room, bringing the body down onto the mat. Here we're going to take the arms out in front and gently rocking again from side to side. Freeing up into the hips, getting some nice deep breath into the back of the body. And then let's just walk the body forward as though you're crawling along the mat. Notice then that the bottom comes up towards the ceiling. And then bring your forehead down onto the mat. And we're bringing the chest down towards the mat. Now it's up to you here. The easier position is forehead onto the mat. This allows a lengthening through the neck. If you have no neck problems, then you can open up a little bit deeper and bring the chest down, and then you're on your chin. So entirely up to you. You get a deeper stretch through the back of the body and opening into the shoulders. But if you have any neck problems, then stay onto your forehead. So I'm going to relax here tonight. I'm going to stay on my forehead and just get this nice lengthening as my tailbone goes up towards the ceiling. Let's get this nice gentle opening into the front of the body. And then we're going to come from here up into a nice forearm position. So notice that this is a forearm downward facing dog, but a slightly shorter one. We're bringing our feet a little bit closer in towards the body. So it creates some strength into the shoulders. And here what we're going to do is sail one leg up towards the ceiling, keeping the toes pointing forward on the standing leg. And here holding a little bit more strength as we take that leg up a little higher, breathing and releasing, keeping strength. Don't let the head come down onto the mat. And then breathing, bending both legs as you come down, knees coming down towards the mat but not quite, and then rocking forward into the shoulders, and then back up into a downward facing dog. We're going to do the same on the other side. Send the leg up towards the ceiling, nice long straight line through the body. Breathing, getting some strength into the shoulders, getting some strength into the upper body, and then bringing the leg through and down and across, and then back up into your downward facing dog. Let's release the shoulders and come into a child's pose. We'll come into traditional child as we let go of the shoulders, bring the hands to the side, and then we're going to bring the forehead down onto the mat. Take a round of breath here. Breathing and releasing. And then taking hold of the heels and coming into rabbit pose as we come up onto the crown of our head, allowing the bottom to come up towards the ceiling. This gets a nice long stretch into the back of the body. And then relax down. And then bringing the arms forward, coming back into your downward facing dog. Extending through the body, finding a nice strong downward facing dog that allows freedom into the shoulders, no scrunching up into the shoulders. Heels coming down towards the earth and tailbone coming up and back. So we're not just coming up towards the ceiling that lifts our heels off the mat and makes us transition over into the hands, but it's coming up and back towards the back wall. And then we're going to step the right leg through, coming up into a nice low level lunge. Let's bring that back leg down and find this lovely crescent back bend as we lift up through the body. Then bringing the hands down together, forearms together, we're going to come into a soft twist. Keeping it nice and low. If you want to lift that back leg up and take it that little bit further, then please do. Otherwise, keep the knee down. Keep it nice and soft in the body. Think more about lengthening rather than stretching. More this feeling of opening into the spine. And then let's bring the heel off, the knee off the back, sorry, and then bring your hands down and step that right leg back, coming into your downward facing dog, and then step the left leg through. Here we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to drop that leg down, getting a nice stretch into the hip flexor, lifting up towards the ceiling, finding length and breath in the body, and then doing exactly the same. We're going to bring our hands together, the full arms together, and coming into a twist. Again, it's up to you. If you want to bring that back leg off, then you can. And just holding, finding some length, some freedom. And then release. We're now going to move the body round, keeping it nice and low. Feet out to the sides, a nice long stance. This is where you need your blocks. Bring both blocks in front of you. You've got both blocks here. Keep them out about shoulder height. And then we're going to get this nice lengthening through the body, through the back of the body. And then folding down into the body. And we're going to do this 4 times. Lengthening up, finding length, stretch into the inner thighs. And then down and release. And then forward, up. And then releasing down into the body. Let's have one more. Bringing the body up. And then folding down. This time we're going to walk our blocks a little bit closer. So notice now my blocks are on the edge of my mat. And then we're going to bend the knees and bring the body down. Now notice by having our hands here, the shoulder blades then can lift up. We've got that little bit of movement into the back of the body. So if I had my hands down here, we wouldn't get that same movement. So we've got this structure through here that as I come down, it's like this opening up into the back of the body. It's allowing this freedom into those muscles. As we come down, the chest is coming forward and then rounding back up and finding length. Down as we fold in, rounding back up and find length. Let's have one more. Finding that freedom through the body, shoulder blades coming together and then rounding up, and we're going to come into a nice low level goddess pose. Notice how wide my legs are. Bring the body back into your goddess pose, and here let's have a little bit of movement into the arms, bringing the arms together. See, my forearms are coming in together, so it's not just the hands. Get that lovely long stretch to the back of the body. Back and then over to the side, so we get this nice stretch into the side of the body. Back into center, over to the other side, back into center. Let's do that again. Forearms together, releasing out, over to the side, keeping this nice strong structure, but a softness in the body. Over to the other side, back in, forearms together. Let's do it one more time together. Out to the side, over, back up to center, and over to the other side, and curl down and release. We're now coming down onto our backs, so keep the blocks close to you, rocking down, bringing the legs to the side. And here what we're going to do, first of all, come into a boat pose variation. What I'd like you to do is bring your block between your feet lengthways, so we're not horizontal but vertical. And then here what I want us to do is try and find that length through the back of the body. So we're not collapsing down, but finding this length through the back of the body, and gently taking the legs up and down towards the earth. Up and down towards the earth. Pushing your feet together helps keep this balance in the body. Down, so notice I've got hold of my thighs. I'm creating a nice strong structure into the body. So we're working into the thighs, but we're also working into the core muscles. Up, finding length, down, coming in. Let's have two more. Up, finding length, down, coming in. And one more. Up, find that length, down, coming in, and then release the block. Bring your body down onto the mat. As we come down onto the mat, we're going to hug into the body. Let's get a nice release into the back of the body. Hugging in and then releasing the legs up towards the ceiling. Here what we're going to do is bring the arms down to the side and then gently taking the legs out to the width of your mat. And here what we're going to do is one leg at a time, we're going to bring in towards the body. So we have to contract the quadriceps to lengthen up behind the back of the legs into the hamstrings, and then release. So notice it's not this crisscross position, but definitely one coming in, one staying stationary, and then release. Then the other leg coming in, the other staying stationary, and release. Let's have a couple more. In and release. In and release. In and release. In and release. Now crossing the ankles over, giving your back this nice rocking feeling into the back of the body, just rocking from side to side. Enjoying that release, enjoying the freedom into the spine. And then we're going to do exactly the same, rocking in and release, in and release. Gently rocking in and release, in and release. Let's have a couple more, in and release. And then bringing the feet down onto the mat, so you've got this nice cross-legged feeling. And then notice then we've got this natural arch into the back. Gives a nice release into the back, taking the arms above the head, getting a lovely stretch through the body. And here we're just going to relax for a few rounds of breath. This is really important to do. This allows us to find this opening through the front of the body. And at the same time, we've got this movement into our hips as we draw the lower back into the mat. Opening up. And releasing down. So have 4 more deep connected breaths. enjoying the space that this movement brings into the body, because we've got this lovely opening into the chest, into the stomach, and then this lovely relaxing down, but it's this feeling of opening also at the same time. The hip flexors, the hip joints, the stomach, and then relaxing, closing your eyes, bringing your body down into Shavasana. So this week's meditation is going to be in Shavasana, really letting go and finding that comfortable position, that feeling of release in the body. Finding that balance that Shavasana brings us, both physically and mentally, as we settle down into the breath. We've created movement and activity in the body. The energy has lifted. We've controlled the breath, brought the body down into a parasympathetic reaction, stilled the activity of the mind. And now let's take that step deeper and see if we can bring a complete relaxation to the body. And we're going to do this, our meditation for this week's video. We're going to do a breathing control, a pranayama technique that brings deep relaxation and deepens our connection with the breath and our control of the breath, allowing us to deal with very stressful situations or just letting go, healing the body. So this technique we're going to do with the breath is we breathe in for 3 stages, 3 even stages. So breathing in to the stomach, into the chest, into the throat. And then the exhale is a normal, natural exhale. And we do that 3 or 4 times. Breathing in stages, 3 stages, and then breathe out. It takes a while for you to get that balance of how to develop the stages, the 3 equal parts. And then the second part, we do exactly the same with the exhale. So we breathe out in 3 stages, 3, 2, 1, and then you breathe in normally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through the first couple of rounds and then let you carry on and try and develop the technique. So let's take a nice deep inhale and then an exhale, settling down into the mat, letting go. Let's have a couple more. Breathing in, finding expansion, and out. Or 1 more. In, and then release. And then on the next inhale, we're going to do it through 3 stages. So let's breathe out and in. And then release. Let's see if we can make it softer. And again. Let's have 3 more. And the last one. Breathing out normally. Breathing in normally. And then let's work in 3 parts on the exhale. Breathing in normally. Let's soften it. a little bit softer. Let's see if we can do it through the nose. Two more. And then relax. Allow the breath just to settle and release. 4 more deep inhales and soft exhales. And then gently coming up to a seated position, rocking over onto your side, coming back into a cross-legged position. And then just bringing a softness again into the breath, into the body. Relaxing, coming to the end of your practice today. And then what I'd like you to do is try and practice, if you can't practice the whole sequence, try and at least practice before you go to bed, before you go to sleep, that breathing technique. So remember, soften the breath first of all, and then 3 parts to the inhale, and then a normal exhale. And there's no, you can do as many times as you like if you feel you just want to keep flowing through that. And try and get it as smooth as possible. So you literally feel like you're coming in and out and in and out. So we do 3, 2, 1. And then have a couple of rounds of normal breath, and then do exactly the same with the exhale. Breathing out, 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 normal inhale, out, 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 normal inhale. And do that as many times as you want. It's a wonderful way to really soften into the breath, really get some control into the breath. So enjoy your practice. Namaste.